Next on Nightly, OU President David Bourne Group launches its sales tax initiative. Residents in Northwest Oklahoma are worried about the future of their town, and there's a new plan to slow down earthquakes across the Sooner State. This is OU Nightly. The axe is falling at Devon Energy Corporation. By this time tomorrow, 1,000 Devon workers will be looking for a job.
The Oklahoma energy giant says most of these layoffs will be in Oklahoma City, where the hallways of Oklahoma's most impressive skyscraper will echo the sounds of 700 employees laid off. The company says it's forced to cut expenses in order to maintain financial flexibility. The Devon layoff are just the latest hit for workers in Oklahoma's oil and natural gas industry. In the past year, local energy companies have laid off more than 12,000 people.
And parents of students at Norman North are calling for answers. They want the Norman School District to be more transparent about what's happening in the wake of the alleged rape of 2 students. And it's barely been a month since 2 students reportedly being sexually assaulted by members of the school's wrestling team. Since then, the school district public comments have been limited to written statements, no questions, no answers. And one parent says that's just not right.
I would have expected something far more public and far more proactive with respect to addressing the magnitude of the problem that I believe underlies this.
Wegner wants them to break their silence, have a level of transparency in public information, and public independent investigation into the wrestling culture, and for all recommendations stemming from the investigation to be enforced. Superintendent Joe Ciano reached out to Dr. Wegner about the letter, but he's denied all requests to speak with OU Nightly. And Governor Mary Fallin proposed a tax increase on cigarettes, but the bill is receiving resistance from legislators. Senator President Pro Tempore Brian Bingham believes this may cause a drop in local tobacco sales.
The tax is going to drive the people that really smoke. It's going to drive them to the tribal smoke shops, and it's going to drive them out of state to buy the product, through the black market. So.
Tomorrow we'll look at both sides of this story as Oklahoma continues to search for a way out of its budget crisis. Well, today was extremely hot, and I felt like it was summer.
Right, and I didn't even have to wear a coat or anything today.
No, it was like I almost put on shorts.
It was perfect.
Yeah,
perfect spring
weather.
weather.
What is it right now?
Well, guys, I don't know if I'd call it extremely hot, but definitely by February standards. We're at 70 degrees right now. That's our high. Winds are strong out of the south, 15 to 20, gusting to 25. They're going to stay right there tonight as we dip into the 50s. Sunny skies, breezy and dry. But coming up tomorrow and in your main weather, I'll have record highs for you with our fire danger increasing about as high as it can go. And all that and more in your 7-day forecast. But for now, back to you.
And some members of the Oklahoma State Senate are looking to modernize more liquor laws, but there are beer companies who openly oppose the piece of legislation. Anheuser-Busch an advertisement in the Oklahoman today appealing to other customers, not allowing their passing of this bill. The bill states that manufacturers would not be able to sell beer from the factory, but only from a wholesaler of liquor store. Companies like Anheuser-Busch would have to increase the price of their beer and in some cases would not be able to stay open or remain profitable. Mark Bordas, the region vice president of governmental affairs, said the company approves the modernization of liquor laws in Oklahoma, but not this measure. The amended resolution was heard and stricken in the same afternoon. Another conference committee will gather to continue to amend the bill before it's heard on the Senate floor again. And OU Nightly's Ashley Sanchez joins us in the News Center with the latest on who may replace Justice Scalia. Ashley?
Thanks. Several Senate Democrats and one Republican are rumored to be on the president's Supreme Court short list. The list includes Democrats Kirsten Gillibrand of New York, Amy Klobuchar of Minnesota and Cory Booker of New Jersey, and Republican Orrin Hatch. The funeral for Justice Scalia, who died last week, is scheduled for Saturday. Apple pushed back against the U.S. government to protect the security of its customers. A federal judge ordered Apple yesterday to help the FBI break into an iPhone belonging to one of the killers in the San Bernardino shootings. Apple CEO Tim Cook explained in a customer letter that while they in no way support terrorism, the company believes it would be a threat to data security. A car bomb blast in Ankara, Turkey killed at least 18 people and wounded more than 40 others today. The rush hour explosion was close to military headquarters and the Turkish parliament. The University of Texas today made it official. People will be allowed to carry concealed handguns in UT classrooms. But the approval came begrudgingly as UT President Greg Finns opposes allowing guns on campus. Since the Texas legislature voted last year to force public universities to allow open carry, Finns had no other option. And South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley endorsed Marco Rubio today. Now back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Ashley. After a gun range posted a sign claiming it was a Muslim-free establishment, a Muslim advocacy group filed a federal lawsuit against them. The Council of American Islamic Relations in Oklahoma and the American Civil Liberties Union of Oklahoma filed the suit. They claim that a gun range in Ocatha, Oklahoma, about 15 miles south of Muskogee, violates the Civil Rights Act of 1964. The suit was filed earlier today.
A bill that would require anti-abortion messages to be in high school curriculums advanced Monday. The bill is called the Humanity of the Unborn Act. Its main intention is to instruct teenagers that life begins at conception. The bill would allow parents to opt out of the instruction for their kids. It could not be implemented this year because of budget restraints, but enacting it would put the legislature's position on abortion on the record.
Still ahead on OU Nightly, a big furniture store may be caught in a big problem.
Plus, ebooks may not be as popular as you thought.
Welcome back. A giant international company is in hot water. Lindsay Gomez is here with today's business report.
IKEA has reportedly avoided paying taxes in Europe for the past 6 years. The European Parliament released a report accusing the furniture giant of funneling money through Liechtenstein and the Netherlands between 2009 and 2014. The report says IKEA has been profit shifting, and the European Union is trying to crack down on this kind of corporate tax avoidance. It's estimated that IKEA has dodged up to $1 billion in taxes, but IKEA is defending itself, saying that it does pay its taxes in full compliance. And the popularity of ebooks, such as the Nook and the Kindle, have made a lot of people think bookstores would become a thing of the past, but not anymore. Data from the U.S. Census Bureau shows bookstores are again on the rise. Bookstore sales rose 2.5% last year. Sales went from $10.9 billion to $11.2 billion. This is the first increase since 2007. And finally tonight, it's tough enough to succeed in a small business, especially in the bad economic times facing Oklahomans today. In the metro area, I found an entrepreneur that's not going to be knocked down, even though that's exactly what happened to her business.
Walking up on the building, the vehicle was still in the building. It was over to the side, pushed all the way up against the wall in our conference room, and my heart just sank.
Amanda, along with 6 other bridal vendors, came together to create the Wedding Boutique, a single building redesigned and remodeled to fit 7 different bridal businesses under one roof. They were only able to enjoy their dream building for 18 months before disaster struck.
It's heartbreaking to know that that you dream so long about something and plan it all out and, you know, paint and put up, you know, new flooring, all to have it destroyed in a matter of seconds by a drunk driver.
Around 2 a.m. on February 7th, a drunk driver plowed through the brick exterior of the Wedding Boutique. The car caught on fire while inside the building, but the driver was only left with minor injuries.
I watched him drag the car back out of the building.
It's now been 10 days since the disaster. The Wedding Boutique vendors have been on the move, trying to keep their business up and running despite their situation.
We immediately started looking for a temporary home, packed up, and we have been moved and resituated in a matter of 1 week.
3 insurance adjusters have already inspected the damages, but as of right now, it is still unknown if the building will be salvageable or demolished.
They all agree that it's just too close to call, that they really do need a structural engineer to come in.
But even with their business torn to shreds, the vendors say they aren't going to let this affect them in a negative way.
There's always a ray of sunshine. It just takes some time to look and find it. And for us, it gives us the chance to come back bigger and stronger and build better. Even though this is in total destruction, we're not.
Guys, I'll be following up with Amanda to try to figure out what happens next with her business.
Well, thank you. I'm glad that she's keeping a positive outlook on this.
It's kind of hard to keep positive when things like that happen all the time.
Good for her.
Well, still ahead on Nightly, men's basketball is back in action tonight after coming off Saturday's tough loss.
And Bradon is here with a look at weather.
Good evening, everybody. Hope you had a fantastic fantastic Wednesday. Hopefully you made some outdoor plans as well, because it's gorgeous outside right now. Spring-like temperatures, 70 in Norman, 71 down in Lawton, and 73 up in Woodward. Now, with winds tomorrow, we're going to still be plenty warm, but we're going to have a very high fire danger. It'll be windy, warm, and dry. But if you're ready for a little bit of a cool down, there is one ahead further on in the 7-day forecast. Right now, I have high pressure off to the west, high pressure off to the east, and this high pressure in Louisiana is going to bring some strong southerly winds tomorrow, keeping temperatures pretty nice, but also increasing our fire danger. Starting right in the morning, 8 a.m., winds out of the south, 15 to 20, gusting to 35, and it's just going to get worse from there. 20 to 25 by noon, 25 to 30 in northern Oklahoma, gusting up to 50 miles per hour tomorrow. All day long. 3 o'clock, still going, 24 in Stillwater, 20 to 25 statewide. And as you go on even to the midnight hour, we're still going to be at 15 to 25 statewide. So it's going to be a very, very windy day tomorrow. And the fire danger is about as high as you can get. Very high fire danger, what the Weather Service will call critical or extreme fire danger. Basically, and especially if you live in western Oklahoma, where conditions are going to be much drier than usual, there's going to be a very, very high risk for fire. So make sure as you go throughout the day tomorrow to be aware of that. Lows tonight, 40s across the state, 42 in Ponca City, 43 in Enid, 45 in Woodward. As you head out the door in the morning at 8 a.m., 45 degrees, already windy, out of the south, 15 to 20, gusting to 35. We'll stay mostly sunny tomorrow, but it's going to warm up quickly and a lot. 70 by noon, dry, warm, and windy, very high fire danger continuing on throughout the day, and we'll have a record high tomorrow of 79, beating the record of 78 with those strong southerly winds at 25 to 30, gusting to 50. Highs across the rest of the state, 83 in Gary, 82 in Hinton, 81 in Okarche, and 80 in Yukon and Chickasha as well. I'm not going to be surprised if we see a few 90s tomorrow in far western Oklahoma. 87 in Woodward, 86 in Elk City. Might have a few isolated areas where we'll get a little bit of a warmer temp. So like I said, I'm not going to be surprised if we see a 90. 70s and cooler off to the west and eastern Oklahoma as well. 7-day forecast, 76 on Friday, lows in the 50s. Record highs again. We're going to be about 20 degrees above normal for this time of year before, as I said, we'll cool down on Sunday. We have a cold front coming that will bring us a chance of showers and thunderstorms come then. But after that, we're going to start back into the classic February weather, 55, 52, cooling on down right where we like it for this time of year.
So not too bad. Spring is right around the corner.
Spring's right around the corner right now. I mean, whenever you're going to be 80 tomorrow and 90 in western Oklahoma or close to it, that's just a little ridiculous in my book, just a little bit.
A little bit, but I'm going to enjoy it.
If we hit 90 in western Oklahoma, it will set a state record for the entire month of February.
That's amazing.
There you go.
And you know what they say, it wouldn't be Oklahoma if it wasn't windy, so.
Right.
She's got it.
Yep. Well, thanks, Bradon. And it looks like Blake Griffin is in the spotlight again. Clarke, what can you tell us about the former Sooner?
Thanks, Annie. Not only are both Sooner basketball teams in action tonight, but Blake Griffin speaks for the first time since breaking his hand. Sports is straight ahead. Welcome to OU Nightly Sports. I'm Clarke Sachs. Men's basketball looks to get back on track tonight as they take on Texas Tech in Lubbock at 8 p.m. on ESPNU. The Sooners dominated Texas Tech in the first meeting, 91-67, but are coming off a home loss to the Jayhawks, while the Red Raiders are fresh off a big road win in Waco. If the Sooners want to get back to winning big and getting some rest for the starters, it all starts with making shots early and not having to play from behind.
Step up, make shots. We've been making shots early. we're always used to making shots and leading, giving runs on teams, and we haven't been doing that lately, so we got to do a better job. And it starts with me, Ryan, Isaiah, getting everybody together and make shots.
After Sunday's big win at home against the Longhorns, the 20th ranked women's basketball team heads to Morgantown tonight to play the Mountaineers. The Sooners are looking for the regular season sweep of West Virginia, and with the win, can take over sole possession of 4th place in conference standings. Tip-off is set for 6 p.m. And stop me if you've heard this before. 3 OU women gymnasts sweep the Big 12 Weekly Awards. That's right. For the 3rd straight week, the trio of Chase Capps, Mackenzie Wofford, and Nicole Lehrman take home the honors for Gymnast of the Week, Event Specialist of the Week, and Newcomer of the Week. The OU trio became the first three-peat winners in Big 12 history, and the Sooners will look to defend its #1 ranking Saturday on the road against number 10 Georgia. Blake Griffin is speaking publicly for the first time since an incident where he got into a fight with an equipment manager and broke his right hand. The NBA and Clippers organization have already ruled that Griffin will be suspended for 4 games without pay and 1 additional game paycheck when he returns from his injury. Griffin took time to apologize to the fans while hoping to move forward with the team.
I've spoken to Matthias about it. I've spoken to my teammates about it, coaches. The last people really to apologize to are the fans and show them how sorry I am.
Staying in the NBA for today's fun fact, for the first time in NBA history, there were 2 teams with 45 or more wins before the All-Star break. The Golden State Warriors went into the break with a league-leading 48 wins, no surprise there, and the San Antonio Spurs were right at 45 wins. NBA action gets underway again tomorrow night. And the Westminster Dog Show is a time for some of the best trained and best groomed dogs to come together, and maybe some dogs just wanting an extra treat.
Family dog that is comfortable performing virtually any job set for it. This is Leonberger, number 25.
Still looking for some snacks. Dogs have a pretty broad definition of edible,
I mean, that's what my dog would be doing. I can't really get my dogs to do tricks. They would just be going straight for the treats.
Yeah, that's all they want.
He was so furry. It looks like you could wear him as a jacket. He's so big and
you never know. I mean, with a dog like that, who knows what tricks you can teach him to do. But, I mean, treats are always going to be the first thing you want.
I mean, and how about that game tonight coming up? I mean, coming off of that Jayhawks win, or Jayhawks loss.
Yeah, it'll be a big time for them because they really need to try and get back on the winning streak. And Kansas won the other night, but West Virginia just lost to Texas, so there's still hope for the Sooners to get that Big 12 crown.
Right. I'm so excited for these big games coming up. It is really Sooner basketball coming up.
It should be fun. Well, thanks, Clarke. Still to come on OU Nightly, we'll have another look at that 5-day forecast.
And a little love goes a long way for this homeless man. And we're updating you on today's top stories. The Council on American Islamic Relations and American Civil Liberties Union filed a civil rights lawsuit on a gun range that claims to be Muslim-free. A customer was denied service because of his faith and said that the staff was friendly until they found out he was a Muslim. And police say two teenagers have been arrested in connection with the shootings of 8 vehicles, including 6 Walmart trucks on a northeast Oklahoma City highway.
And a Massachusetts lottery winner used her good luck to do a good deed. The shocker is she only won $200. Single mother Sophia Andrade used what seemed to be like a win for her and turned it into a large fortune for one homeless man. After seeing homeless man Glenn Williams, she picked him up, drove him and took him for a coffee, and bought him a motel room for the night. And if that wasn't enough, she shared her story amongst her Facebook friends and started a GoFundMe page that went viral. The page raised over $11,000 for him. That is the coolest story I've ever heard.
That is amazing. She not only got him in her car, took him to get some coffee, and then she started a GoFundMe page.
Talk about a late Valentine's Day present.
Right.
There you go.
I mean, you start with $200, just shows you a little bit can go a long way.
Yeah. And I heard that she bought him the hotel room because all the beds in the shelter were taken. So that's the reason for the,
That is
Good
amazing.
faith story right there.
Yeah.
You know, maybe next step is winning the lottery. If you get that 1 point whatever billion, hey, who knows what can happen, but
hey, he might be able to enter himself in that lottery with that $11,000.
A few years ago, there was a homeless guy who ended up getting a job working with the Cleveland Cavaliers as their announcer guy. So you never know
we
what's
got some
around
sports
the
in there.
You never
Gotta
know.
get some sports in there.
Always. Thank you, sports guy.
All right,
Bradon,
let's give a look at our
weather.
evening planner really quickly, just
Thank
so I can
you.
kind of update you what's going on. 66 by 6, 58 by 8. We'll cool down to the upper 50 or low 50s by midnight, and southerly winds will really begin to strengthen as you go throughout the overnight hours to about 10 to 20 come in the morning. So there you go.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, thank you for watching OU Nightly, brought to you by the Gaylord College of the University of Oklahoma.
We'll see you back here tomorrow night live at 4:30.
Have a great evening.
Good night.